today's project. We're going to be working on my 1996 f350 dump truck. Just trying to take out the screws, and that's the last piece. So when I got this truck, it was an old Massachusetts town truck. Wiring in here all over the place. It's quite the rat's nest. I've gone through some of it and neatened it up. Others it's just leaving. So this wire here I've been fighting. It doesn't ride with the rest of the vehicle harness. This goes to the wigwags. So if you ever seen a vehicle and the headlights are flashing intermittently like a cop car or a fire, it's called a wigwag. The truck is set up for emergency lights because it was a town plow truck. So when they were plowing, obviously they needed to be conspicuous as they were going down the road to avoid being hit, just like any other plow truck that you see going down the road, or fire truck, police car, tow truck. They all have the emergency lights. I figure I should throw the tow truck and the other vehicles in there, because if you're watching in a place that doesn't get snow, well, then you wouldn't know what a plow truck necessarily would have on it. So anyway, back to trying to continue on putting the jigsaw puzzle together. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to match all these pre-bent areas with what's existing on the floor. So underneath this cap here is the bolt for the body mount bushing. Up here is solid, so I don't want to go and cut all the way up in here and then try and have to cut out this oval for this plug to go in. So I'm going to leave that. Any place that there's two pieces of metal, so there's an underlying piece as a part of the cab support here. I'm trying to leave the underlying metal if it's intact. If it's rotted out, then obviously I'll cut it out and deal with it then. Right now I'm trying to decide where back here I want to cut to make sure that the new floor fits in. So it appears that it starts, the piece ends about here where it just starts going up. So if I were to cut it back here at this rust line, that should be good. So that piece should fit in there, and then I would have to cut this one here so that it doesn't go up to where that grommet is. And the piece doesn't seem to go up too far up the side here. This goes up over the transmission, and that is, I mean, it's thin, but it's not like this thin. You know, it's not totally rusted out. So I will try and leave that, and then this is the linkage for the four-wheel drive. And that is my Pernundle. In case you don't know what a Pernundle is, because yeah, the newer cars. So Pernundle is to park, reverse, neutral, drive, and then back when cars only had 3 gears, it would be low. So the PRNDL, Pernundle. So if you ever hear anyone talking about that, that's what they're talking about, is the gear selector. Alright, well, sorry about that, you guys went flying. Alright, so here we got the section of floor cut out. So there's that cab support I was talking about. The floor is spot welded to it. Had to cut out a spot weld there, and in trying to cut the spot weld out here, I accidentally cut the top off of it. But that's, you know, it's not the end of the world. So let's get the floor pan cut so that it fits in this hole, and we'll give it a shot. Alright, so that's that piece rough cut, and we'll see what happens when we try and slide it in. Alright, so it looks like we are hitting the four-wheel drive, which is something I suspected. And we're hitting right over here. So this corner here, I'll have to take this corner off to try and get it to slide down. You can see here where the old floor was. So there is a hole here. So I'll have to take a piece of the one I just cut off, so it's the same thickness, and I'll fit that piece in as well. So let me get this out, knock this corner off. I'll hold off on the four-wheel drive hole for now. Once this is in, it may slide and drop in correctly. Okay, so that's fitting decently. It does need to slide that way a little bit. And I do need to take a notch out here for the four-wheel drive. Most of it's been kind of looking and winging it, but now we're getting closer to the finished product. So let me get a Sharpie and we will just give it a mark so I know where. Okay, well, that was potentially disappointing. Not sure where the GoPro cut out. I went to stop it and it was frozen. So let me review what we've done, and then I'll be able to figure out when I'm editing what to leave in, what to take out. We have this piece fitted in, the floor pan, and then we cut this one. I have this laid out in here, and then I cut out this groove for the wires rather than trying to cut out all this subfloor. I'll just grind here and weld on here, and I know metal on metal, potential of rusting. It's realistically the best option here. If I were on my property and I could leave this thing torn apart for days or months on end, then yeah, taking everything out and then cutting it, fitting it, and welding it would be ideal. Seeing it's a 96 and it is corroded, I don't want to run the risk of snapping all the seat bolts out, because then that opens up a whole nother bunch of trouble that I don't want to get into. And I can't take the seat out because I currently live in a mobile home park, and having it all torn apart for as long as it might take wouldn't make the neighbors happy. I have to deal with what I have and get the job done in a timely manner, safe manner, and acceptable manner, something that will last. I bought the proper floor pan versus what I had done before. I mean, that lasted a while, but it was thin sheet metal, where this one has all these pucker marks that actually gives the steel strength, versus mine was just all flat, and over time it would potentially cause problems. So we'll keep moving forward with the fitment. I'm going to take some self-tapping screws and I'm going to start screwing some of these pieces down just so that they are stable, and as I go to do the rest of the fitment, nothing continues to move around. And so let me get them screwed down. Okay. And since I will be welding this, I don't need a ton of screws. I just need a couple screws here and there just to hold things in place. Story of my life, dead batteries. Okay. That's the one nice thing about having the same manufacturer for all your tools. Batteries are interchangeable. What's the definition of futility? Or what's the definition of stupidity? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Alright, that's those just tacked in place until I can get to welding them. Wires fit in the groove, fit nicely. Oh, see that? They come in, and then once it's all tacked, you know, welded together, but the weather stripping rides right down there. Weather stripping rides right down there on that post. It'll sit like that, and then you have the plastic cover that goes right over here. And now we can do the inner rocker. The inner rocker will sit up in here somewhere. Right now I'm just kind of rough holding everything. And then the outer rocker goes on. So the outer rocker will go on like that. And then the cat corner goes on like that. So when I'm all done, it will be as good as I can get it. Not as good as new. We won't go that far, but it'll be better than it was. We can definitely say that. We can't say as good as new, but we can say better than it was. And then the seat belt will screw into that hole. Basically it has that bracket there, bolt goes down through, down into that hole, holds it all together. Be legal while you're driving, if you so choose to wear a seatbelt. It's not the law in New Hampshire. Some places it is, I understand, but keep moving forward.